Hey, howdy, hey, my friends, and welcome back. My name is Liz, and today we're here for another Tutorial Tuesday. And this time we'll be covering Sunhaven and some details about the initial startup. The three main points that I plan on we'll be going over today are going to be the benefits of each character race, the character customization, and the different professions and their benefits. Two out of the three of these will affect your gameplay. We'll go over that. One of them is not going to. It's going to be purely aesthetic, and that's going to be your character customization. Hey, just an interrupting listener here to say I hope you're enjoying the videos so far. If you are enjoying it and you want to find more content like this, because I will be uploading more Sunhaven tutorial videos, hit that subscribe button down below. And you can even give the the little bell icon a little click-a-rooney too. That way you'll be notified when new videos are posted, so you can stay up to date on all the content that I post around here. Alright, back to regular Liz. Let's go ahead and get right on into it, and we're going to start with each character race. Now there are seven different races, and each one starts with either an effect, which is a passive ability, or a spell, which is a triggered ability. And I believe always has a cooldown. I don't know what the cooldown is for each of them, but we're going to go ahead and go through that here in a second. First off, we're just going to go from left to right. First one here is going to be human, as you can see our nice little selection of races here. First one we're going to go over is going to be human. Humans have the expert crafter effect. Now this increases crafting speed by 20%. This is a global effect, so it'll help you and it'll help anybody that you're playing with if you're playing in multiplayer. So that can be a helpful one. The next race is going to be elf. And with elf, you get the effect Elven Eyes. And what this does is it increases crossbow damage by 15%. So if you're like, yeah, I like to go for that range damage rather than that melee damage, and you're going to be maining a crossbow, because it's either crossbow or sword pretty much in this game, highly recommend going with the elf race, just so you can have that little damage boost. Next up is going to be demon, and this is going to be the first race that we have that's going to have a spell instead of an effect. Now the spell that you're going to start with is going to be Shadow Rush, and what that does is it increases movement speed by 60% for 10 seconds. Next one, flip of the coin, we're going to go over to Angel. Angel also is going to have a spell that you start with, and it's going to be called the Miracle Spell. And what that does is it's going to heal you for 15 health, and it's also going to heal you for 15% of your max health and any players nearby. So a static 15 extra health for you, and then a 15% of your max health for you and for anybody nearby. Obviously 15% of their max health, not yours. That would probably be a little too OP if you did it right. So next up is going to be Amari. Basically it's going to be your different animal creatures, canine, feline, avian, that sort of thing. And with that, you're going to have the Primal Nature effect. And what that does is it grants you a small chance for attacks to restore health. So if you think you're going to be going and battling some enemies a lot in the caves or in the forest or any other location where there's going to be enemies present, that's what you like to do, that might be the race for you. You know, it helps if you're like me and you die a lot to enemies, any bonus you can get is helpful. Next one is going to go and be Element. With the element race type, you're going to start with the Elemental Tap spell. And what that does, it's kind of like a miracle spell, except instead of health, it's going to be mana. So it's going to restore 10 mana to you personally, and then for you and people nearby you, it's going to restore an additional 10% of your max mana. And last but certainly not least, we have the Naga, which apparently in this game means part mermaid and not just snake. I've yet to fully research that, so don't roast me in the comments just yet. But for that one, you're going to get the Mermaid's Touch effect, and what that is it increases the sweet spot while catching fish by 30%. And what they mean by sweet spot, it's when you go to fishing, you're going to have a mini game where the fish is going to be like zoom, zoom, zoom back and forth on this bar. And right? Yeah, it's gonna be, I'm trying to remember the game. It's gonna be zoom, zoom, zoom back and forth on this bar, and you have to click and try to get it within a certain, like, bracket or box, shall we say, to catch it rather than it getting away. So it's just gonna increase the size of that to make it a little bit easier for you. Now, moving on, we're gonna head over into the actual character customizations and the details for that. So, like I said before, this stuff is going to be purely aesthetics. It's not really it's not going to affect your gameplay at all, aside from when you choose your race. So the race choice will affect some gameplay, but otherwise everything else up here, you know, whether it's the hair, the body, the hair, the eyes, face, whatever, that's not going to affect your gameplay. So go nuts, you know, go as crazy as you want or go as tame as you want, whatever your preference is. And I'm going to go through the different customizations for these, hopefully really quickly. I don't want to bore you guys to death. So for human, the customizations are pretty straightforward. You can pick a body type. There isn't really any other choice besides the one they start you with. You get different skin tone choices. You can choose various different hairstyles, and then the color of the hair as well. You can choose your eye style and the eye color. For the face, all you're really choosing between is the facial hair. And to my knowledge, when you change the color of your actual hair, it'll change the color of the facial hair. So when you click on the facial hair, you can change the color of the facial hair. Apparently we're going with a beard today. No, thank you. And then the last two options for human are something that you're going to find on pretty much almost every single other race, is going to be the chest and the pants. It's literally just your outfit that you're choosing, and again, you can change the colors. This dress here, you can change the color on. I like the different options. Doesn't really affect the pants because you can't see them under there, but they will be there, so at least you'll know that you do have pants on. And again, those you can change the color onto here. Let's see, so you can see. You can change the style, you can change the color. Yeah, so you have those options. Very, very basic, nothing too crazy. Next one, we're going to go into elf, and obviously you're still going to have the body options, basic just like the human, same with the hair, same options, same color options, same eyes. Where it changes is when you get into the face. There's just different like elfish style paint options for your face, and obviously you can change to different colors too. So, you know, you're like a little elf in the woods, you can change the colors, do what you want. Hope I'm not offending elves anywhere. And then you've got the chest and the pants are the same as the human. Same as the human options, and then you get into the hat where you can choose various different like horns or headdress options. So you've got like the forest stag, forest lord, some lilies. You know, really embrace your inner elf nature, or you don't have to if you don't want to. Obviously, unadorned is an option too. And the final choice is going to be different wing options, different like nature, animal kind of inspired wings. I say animal, I mean like good cute little butterfly wings, you know, the moth wings, you know. Just various different nature-esque wing options. So moving on from elf, we're going to go into demon. Demon, you're going to have the same body options as you do for human, and for human and elf. Same with the hair. The eyes are going to be the same. Face is going to be facial hair options, just like you would have if you were a human. Or no facial hair at all. Maybe you want to have a bare face. That's fine. More power to you. Chest and pants are going to be the same as they were before. Now, the different stuff is going to come in here where you've got different demonic like demon inspired horn options, and color options too. So you can have bright pink horns if you want. You know, you do you live your best demon life however you want to. Same goes for the wings. You got various like demon inspired, you know, dark wings, dark craggly looking wings, or bat wings, tattered wings, all that fun jazz, and different color options as well. Again, you could have bright pink wings if you want. Nobody's here to judge you. We're all here to have fun. And last but not least, the different tail options. Again, some demonic inspired tails. You got your little triangle, you got fire on the tail, all those fun options. Next one is going to be the angel race. We'll automatically just go to glowy. Same body options, same hair options, same eye options. Face is going to be the same, so facial hair, obviously not the same as elf, but it's the same as human and as demon before it. Same chest and pants options. And then we're going to get into headgear. Hello. We're going to get into halos, so you can choose the kind of ethereal crown you have floating above your head. Be as majestic or as like subdued as you want, but yes, you do not have the option. You have to have a halo on. You don't get a choice in that matter. And then you also get wings, various, you know, beautiful angelic looking wing options, kind of ethereal almost with some of these. Apparently we have a one-winged option. Oh, I'm just getting the Final Fantasy reference from this one. That's funny. Okay, moving on to probably the most complicated race to cover when it comes to character customization, the Amari, or the different like animal creature Races, yeah. So with this one, you're gonna immediately notice the difference when you go into body. So you have 6 different body options to choose from. You've got canine, feline, avian, aquatic, green reptilian, and orange reptilian. Now these first like 3 are gonna have the most options. So canine, you're gonna have your regular hair options, your regular eye options. When you get to face, you're gonna have different like dog facial features you can choose between. Chest and pants are the same. Ears, different dog-like ear options, and same with the tail, different dog-like tail options. And for each of these, as you can see at the bottom, you can choose the color. So you can have it all matchy, or you can have it all rainbow colored, whatever your little heart desires. Same is gonna go for the cat, but obviously cat-like features instead. So same hair, same eyes, cat facial features. You can have like a whole little nose thing going on. You could just have a nose and whiskers. You can have little fangs. However you want to go about it, whatever makes your little feline heart happy. Chest options and pants are the same, and you've got different feline ear options and different color choices, as well as different feline tail options. You can have a little bow with a little bell, or you can have a little heart-shaped tail, whatever makes you happy, and whatever colors that you want to choose. You can't choose the color of the bow. It stays the same color, I believe, across all colors though, so there is that at least. Next one is going to be avian. Again, same hair options, same eye options. You're only going to have one face option, which is going to be the short beak, and it's non-negotiable. You have the short beak. You can't not have it. Same chest, same pants, and then the back you only have one of 2 options. You can have the avian wings, or you can have no wings. So you can have flight or no flight. Not that you actually get any flight in the game. Again, it's solely aesthetic. But you have the wing or no wing option. With the wings, though, you can change the color if you want. And then finally, you just have the spread tail. You don't really get the option to have a tail or no tail. It's just that option, and you don't get to pick the color. It is what it is. Next one is going to be aquatic. You can't even change the skin tone on this one. Neither can you for the green reptilian or the orange reptilian. But we'll get to that. So for the aquatic creature, you can't have any hair. It's going to force you into a scaled scalp. You're aquatic. What do you need hair for anyway? It's just going to create drag. Eyes are going to be the same options as everyone else's. But the face, you're only going to have the smooth brow option, as you can see kind of on the face here. Almost kind of vaguely reminds me of the Navi, but that's probably because it's blue. Chest and pants options are the same, and the only other customizable, not even customizable option is going to be your tail. You're stuck with the specific tail. So if you pick aquatic, you're very much shoehorned into looking like this and nothing else. Just that. So do bear that in mind. So when you go on over into green reptilian, you do have a couple options. Not a whole heck of a lot. Like I said, these last 3 are pretty limited in their choices. Obviously, you can't change your skin tone as you could with the first few. There's different like crests, kind of headdress type pieces that you can choose between just the 2 though. You have all the available eye options. You have 2 facial options, so not a whole lot. The chest and the pants are the same, and then you have 3 different tails to choose between. The orange reptilian is basically the same, except you only have 1 hair option. Eyes are the same. You only have 1 facial option. Chest and pants are the same, and then you have to choose between one of these 3 tails, just like you did for the green reptilian. And that is the Amari in a nutshell. Moving past that, the next one we're going to cover is going to be the elements. So with that, once you go into body type, you only have 1 of 2 options, fire elemental or water elemental. And honestly, both the choices for these guys overall are very limited. So if you choose the fire elemental, there's only 2 hairstyles to choose between and 2 eyes to choose between. You can't have any facial hair, and you can choose your chest and your pants, and that's about it. With the water elemental, you only have the 1 hair choice. You must have flowing hair. There's no negotiating. And you only have 2 eye options, just like you did with the fire elemental. No face options, and you can choose your chest clothes and your pants clothes, and that's literally it. So obviously some of these have more customizationable options than others. Last but not least, we're going to go into the Naga, whose body options are going to be the same as everybody else's. The hair is going to be the same as most everybody else's. Eyes are going to be the same. You have a couple different hoods that you can choose between, as well as different color customizations or nothing at all. And then you have the same chest options, but you do not have the pants option. So this is the only one that you can't choose pants for, because you have to choose a tail. But you can change the color. So if you want to be like a pink mermaid-tailed Naga, go for it. You live your best life. And as I said before, aside from the effect or spell that comes with picking your race, aside from that, these other customizations that we just went through, they're not going to alter or affect your gameplay at all. So personalize it to your style and preference. So yeah, the only other thing that will slightly affect your gameplay is our third and final topic, the different professions and their benefits. So there's 10 different professions in total. And we're just kind of going to go through them one by one. I like to start here with Baker. So they're going to be in the bottom left corner. Obviously, if you think you're going to main in something specific, try to pick a profession that goes along with your effect or the perk that you get for your race. I'm going to leave it on Amari because I like the cat and the dog creatures. So 10 different professions. First one we're going to cover is going to be Baker. Baker's going to come with a cooking pot, a baker station, 6 flour, and 400 coins. Good benefit to this one, sometimes it's a little hard to make some of these what I call like crafting stations, so whether it's an anvil, a furnace, a cooking pot, so any profession that comes with one of those I usually like to recommend, just because it's some things that you wouldn't as easily get initially starting the game, you know what I mean? So next one is going to be a farmer. With a farmer you start with 4 tomato seeds, 4 potato seeds, 4 onion seeds, and 400 coins. You can get seeds pretty easy early on, so I wouldn't worry too much about picking farmer, unless you like hardcore love crops and you're like, no, I'm going for the seeds, Liz. Then by all means, you do what makes you happy. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. Next one is going to be orchard farmer, so it's going to be tree specific. You're going to start with 2 apple tree seeds, 5 apples, 5 blueberries, and 500 coins. So a little bump up in the coin department. I don't know how much apples actually sell for, but you can honestly, there's plenty of trees around town and even on your farm when you start that you can harvest apples and other tree fruits, again, from around town. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend starting with this one either, again, unless you're like a diehard, must have my own apple trees, must plant things, you know. Hey, tomato, potato, you do you. But honestly, you can find those resources around on the map pretty easily. So maybe choose something different. Up to you. Next profession is going to be rancher. You're going to start with 1 chicken, an animal name tag, 10 animal food, and 500 coins. Again, a little higher on that coin range, just like the last one was. I'm not super familiar with how easy or difficult it is to get animals. I believe you have to have a barn or coop first, a barn of some sort first, to have animals, unless you want them free roaming on your farm, which I think you can do. And they're kind of expensive, so this one might be worth starting with just to have something, you know, that's a little more difficult to attain early on. So rancher, definitely a good choice to start with. Plus, look how cute that chicken looks. Next profession is going to be explorer. So there are some that won't just give you like a one-time use item like seeds or a chicken or whatever. It's going to have something that's a permanent boost. So like explorer, for example, is going to have a permanent movement speed boost. I believe it's a +5 increase to movement speed. Don't quote me on that. But it does. It's a permanent. Oh yeah. Hello. It's 5. It's the 5s right there. Duh, I'm losing my mind. But yeah. So it's a nice little perk. A nice static perk that you'll get, and that might be something to invest in rather than something that you can purchase. You can't really purchase movement speed. You know what I mean? And then you also get 8 berries and 500 coins as well. Berries you can find around, so tomato, potato. Next one's going to be Spellcaster. This one's also going to give you a permanent increase to something, so it's going to be a +8 permanent increase to your max mana. So again, you can't really buy max mana necessarily, so it might be something that you might lean more towards rather than something that's a single-use item, like I was saying before. It also comes with a bonus increase to a permanent increase to spell damage, but +3, as you can see here as I'm hovering over things. I'm sure you guys are reading it along with me. So if you're gonna go spell based, you're like, yeah, my combat's gonna be fireballs and I'm gonna jump everywhere and I'm gonna use magic for everything and anything. More power to you. Probably go with the spellcaster profession to give you a little leg up on the mana department. And then obviously you get 600 coins as well. Next one is going to be Duelist. So if you're going to be fighting a bunch of stuff, maybe go for this guy because it's going to give you a permanent increase to your maximum health, +8, as well as +3 permanent increase to attack damage. So again, you're going to be going out, fighting some things, fighting some bad guys. You want to be a little tanky. I would go with the Duelist profession. And it gives you 600 coins, so that can't hurt. Tool Master, so if you're going to be crafting a bunch of stuff, maybe this one, it doesn't have any sort of static perk or anything like that. It's just going to give you an anvil, which not super difficult to make early on, but if you don't want to be bothered with trying to figure that out, might be the way to go. You also start with 7 copper bars and 500 gold, so you know, a little something. The copper's not too difficult to find in the mines, so that's ultimately that's up to you. It might be easier to pick a different profession and just go mine it yourself. Next profession is going to be angler. You're going to start with 4 carp and a small fishing net, as well as 600 coins. There's an early quest or something that you have to do near the beginning of the game where you end up getting a fishing net. I can't remember what it was. I remember doing the quest. I can't remember what the quest was. So it wasn't super hard for me to get a small fishing net, but if you are like a hardcore fisher like my boyfriend Ty is, go angler, because that way you can get started with the fishing net right away. It's a passive thing, so you just come by and collect your fish whenever it finally catches one, and you can get fishing XP that way too, so it's actually a nice little passive thing. So again, if you're a really hardcore fisher, do that one. It's a good one. It's a pretty nice one to start with. But 600 gold, that doesn't hurt anybody, does it? And the last profession, if you can call it that, is royalty in your last life. You start with 1,000 coins and a cute little crown to go on your head. If you're me and you like to use the hairstyle that has the cute little bow though, the crown looks a little weird with the bow, so it's up to you. With all these other professions that have some nice stat boost or even products or seeds or anything that you can start with, whether it's a chicken or some sort of crafting station like an anvil or a baking station, I wouldn't necessarily go with this one unless you're dead set on having that crown. Then, I mean, more power to you. You're just starting off a little extra rich. I guess you can use those coins to purchase other things rather than have to be shoehorned into whatever profession you pick and whatever things you happen to start with. But that's entirely up to you. Like I said, this will have an effect, obviously, on your gameplay and everything like that. But it's ultimately up to you. Pick a static effect. Pick royalty if you want. That is entirely your choice. But yeah, the last thing I kind of want to mention, just because I wish somebody had told me because I don't pay very much attention, you can actually, in the options, you can change your day speed, and you can do it in the middle of the day. So if you're trying to bum rush through the days, you can set it to 15 minutes. I think the default is 20, and if you're somebody who's like, I have 50 million things I need to get done in this day, and this day is just not long enough, set it up to 40 minutes, man. It'll take a lot longer to get through the day, and you'll have plenty of time to do all the stuff you need. Like I said, you get bored or you finish what you need to do, you can always come into this settings menu and crank it a little bit back down, you know? Do whatever you need to do. You do you. And I will say that if you're unfamiliar with games like this, these cozy farming games, I will mention there's usually a time that you need to be back in your house and in bed. Otherwise, you will faint, and you will get charged copious amounts of money from the local hospital or doctor or whatever it happens to be in that game. And that time for this game is 12 a.m. So if you're not in your bed by 12 a.m., expect to wake up in the hospital the next morning and with a lecture from a doctor saying, hey, stop falling asleep out in the wilderness. Go to bed. Yeah. That pretty much wraps up all of the initial setup stuff that I wanted to cover and help you guys out with today. Hopefully that makes starting a gameplay or playthrough of Sunhaven a little bit easier for you. Maybe made it more complicated. I don't know. But what I do know is you can let me know down in the comments down below. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you'd find more tutorials on this game helpful. I do plan on uploading some more as it is a slightly newer game, and I personally, when I was playing it, found not confusing, but there were some certain things here and there that I wish somebody was able to walk me through. But yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments section down below, and if you did enjoy it or find it or you found it helpful, give me a big old thumbs up, a little clickaroonie on that like button. It would help me out a lot, and it tells me that I'm actually reaching people and helping them out. And if it's not too much to ask, why don't you go ahead and hit that little subscribe button down below. It gets a little lonely, so give it a little tickle. Give it some love, But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope it was helpful and that you guys enjoyed. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!